One of the first major sins that Iblis, Shaitan, committed before he refused to bow down to man was the sin of racism. He believed that the jinn race was superior than the human race. That's why you see the act of racism is actually satanic. Some of the most heinous crimes that have ever been committed in history were committed because of racism. Dehumanizing people, treating them like animals, killing, slaughtering mothers and children because of racism. And it's happening to this day. Black people are being targeted and hunted down just because of the color of the skin by people who think they're superior to them because of their race. And these people are doing it with the costume on, pretending to be servants of the city, sworn to protect and serve, when they're actually doing the opposite and causing mayhem and creating a bad name for the ones who are genuinely doing their job correctly, the ones who genuinely protect and serve the public. However, when you say Black Lives Matter, sometimes people call you racist because they think that you are saying that Black lives matter more than all other lives. But the base of this statement, lives matter, is the most important part. The world is huge compared to the human being, and vast, from the sun to the oceans to the hordes and hordes of animals and vegetation and everything that's in our creation. Everything was created to serve man. And it was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it was created for a purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala valued his creation of man to the point where every single person is handcrafted by Allah, down to our fingertips. No two people have the same fingertips. Custom made by the Lord of the worlds. If you can imagine a person who went into business selling things and they had to custom make every single item that they sold, they wouldn't be in business for too long. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does it effortlessly because he loves us. He loves every single one of us, regardless of how you look at your fellow man. Allah loves man. So that love, that respect, we are required to have it for every single human being. Every single soul that Allah gives breath to, we are required to have that same respect for it. If not for any other reason, just because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that man. So lives matter to Allah. That's why if you kill a person, it's like killing humanity. My father, he was almost killed when he was 17 years old. He was on his deathbed and he survived. 4 years later, he took his shahada and he met a beautiful woman and she converted to Islam and they got married. My mother and all of his kids were born Muslims. My siblings and all of our kids are Muslims. Generations and generations of Muslims. Not to mention his dawah work. Not to mention all of the years he served as an imam. Potentially thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people were affected. Lives changed forever because of his efforts. Because of the decision that he made. Now what if he would have died that day? And all of that would have just been wiped out. Killing a person It's like killing humanity. So that makes it an even more heinous act. When one person can just take the life of another person and not even think about it. Those people need to be stopped in the name of Allah. And our support for the people being targeted and killed should not be derailed by just a name. Just because it says Black Lives Matter. Now replace the name Black with the name of your mother. And you walked around with a t-shirt that says Miriam's life matters. And I came up to you and said, brother, what about my mother? You wouldn't be wearing that t-shirt because you were disrespecting my mother. You were just saying the love and the affection that you have for this woman who raised you up since you were young. Her life matters. There's something close to you. You're not decreasing the life of my mother or anybody else's mother. Or replace the Black Lives on the t-shirt or on the name of the movement and replace that with the name of your brother if he was in trouble. You will go to the ends of the earth in order to help him. So what is not you? That's your brother. You love him. But it's the same thing. Black lives, these are your brothers, your sisters being killed. We have to support. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah services and aids the person who services and aids his brother. He says that when you make dua, there's an angel right next to you making the same dua for you, asking Allah to help you in the same way you're asking Allah to help your brother. Not to mention, we should all want for our brother what we want for ourselves, says the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when people are saying Black lives are in trouble, Black lives need help, we should run to the aid of them. It don't matter your race or your nationality. You can support the plight of Black lives. Just like we need to support Syria and Africa and Medina and Palestine and all of the atrocities of the world. That doesn't diminish them and the things that they're going through. We're just doing our duty to value the life of the human being. We're doing our duty as Muslims to stand up in the face of the oppressor, regardless of who's being oppressed. Because tomorrow it could be you.